Welcome to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shanna Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. Today, we've got a great show lined up for you today. Later in the show, we're going to be talking with our Houston flood czar. Stephen Costello is going to be talking with us. We're also going to be talking to one of our favorite insurance agents, Jay Olson, about insurance, flood insurance, because there have been a few changes we want to make sure that you know about and some options that you now have on flood insurance. We're going to go to that in the second half. Right now, I want to get started talking about a book that I recently read that's really interesting. It's called My Life and 1,000 Houses, The Art of Owner Financing by Mitch Stevens. We've actually had Mitch on the show before with a different book that he wrote. This one's on owner financing. And a lot of people, I think a lot of people don't understand owner financing, aren't sure the benefits of it and how it can help them. This particular book is about really learning more about financial independence and how owner financing can help you to be more financially independent. So we've got Mitch Skyping in. Hi, Mitch.
Hello, Shannon.
So you are Skyping in from somewhere out there in Texas where you've been out playing, huh?
You got me out of a deer blind.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
You saved a deer's life today.
I saved a deer's life. I love it. Well, all right. Well, I want to talk about the art of owner financing. I can tell you in all the years I've been doing real estate, I haven't seen a lot of owner financing because a lot of people aren't open to it. Why do you think that is? Why don't more people want to do it?
I don't know. It seems to be like one of the best kept secrets in the land. It's actually, if you ask me, it's way better than being a landlord.
So let's talk about that. A landlord comes with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of financial burdens. And people tend to say, well, you can write off a lot, but no matter how much you write off, if you don't make money, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So the main difference is like, so you're a landlord on this hand and you're the bank on this hand. If you're a landlord and anything breaks in that long list of liabilities, the air conditioner, the hot water heater, the faucet, the sink, the stove, the garage door, just go on and on and on and on. If anything breaks, you got to take the money that you collected from these people and you got to give it back to the air conditioner man or to whoever, and apparently it's not your money. Mm-hmm. If you're the bank, you just keep the money, no matter what breaks.
Yeah, because the person who bought it has to pay to get it fixed.
Yeah, when you own or finance a property that you own, you collect a down payment and you deed the house to the person and you collect payments. And it's not your house anymore. You're just the person who loaned the money.
Now, there are some regulations around this. In the past, I know people would own a big piece of land and go put a whole bunch of temporary housing on it and then start selling a piece of the land with the housing. Sometimes people refer to these as trailer parks, and they sell each individual trailer with a 1 acre tract or half acre tract. And they would do, 25 of those and they would make a lot of money doing that. But there is some regulation out there keeping that from happening now. How many owner financing properties can you have at a time now?
No, you can do as many as you want as long as you comply with Dodd-Frank, which, by the way, is going to be dismantled by the pending administration. They've already announced it. But as long as you conformed, you could do as many as you want. I mean, I'm doing 100 a year, but I conform to Dodd-Frank.
So you have to know what's required of a lender and kind of work like a lender versus just.
Yeah, they want you to act more like a bank than a person. Yeah. So, but it's
there's
real
some
easy.
Responsibilities there.
Yeah, but it's real easy. You hire an RMLO or a residential mortgage loan originator, and you do what he says for the first 10 or 15 days. He stands between you and your buyer, and you do what he says, and he keeps you compliant. End of story.
Some people don't like owner financing because they worry that because the house has been deeded to someone else, if they don't pay their monthly payments to you, now they have to go through the foreclosure process. But how difficult is that foreclosure process?
Well, let's back up before that. As a landlord, how much money can you collect up front? And it's usually called a refundable deposit. As the seller, deposit, yeah. You can collect up $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 as a down payment. So let's get that straight. You've got the money to pay for the foreclosure. How much does a foreclosure cost? Probably about $800 if you hire an attorney. How hard is it to do a foreclosure? It's just this hard. You call your attorney on the phone and you say, foreclose on this property. Call me when you have the keys. And then you write him a check for $800. End of story.
And you take back the property and resell it to someone else and continue on your interest.
Yes,
way.
and if they weren't really nice to your house, hopefully you collected enough down payment to deal with it, which you rarely collect. You rarely collect enough deposit as a landlord to deal with a messed up house.
Right. Yeah.
But you can collect enough down payment to deal with a messed up house.
Now, when you sell or finance homes, how long are you doing it for? Are you doing this for 30 years like a lender would? Are you doing it for 10 years? What's your normal?
I'm normally 20 probably is the least I've seen in a while. 25 I haven't seen often. I do a lot of 30s because, the core belief of the owner finance industry is that a person paying $1,000 a month rent would rather pay $1,000 to own. So we're trying to keep the rent. We're trying to move them from the rental amount right over to being an owner for just about the same amount, plus or minus a couple of bucks.
Right. Yeah. Now they've got some on the buy side. They're still paying their fees for closing and that sort of thing. Or are you absorbing that for them? Title company costs.
Well, you used to have no fees until the government got involved. Now we got fees. Guess who gets to pay them?
So you're paying for the. Are you even doing an appraisal?
You don't need an appraisal. If I'm going to own or finance you a property and we agree on the down payment and the price, you and I don't need an appraisal because I'm not government funded. I'm not government backed. I'm not government guaranteed. I'm out here by myself providing money with no net.
So you're paying title company fees or an attorney, whoever's closing it, and you're paying the mortgage origination cost, and that's it?
No, there is no mortgage origination cost. I am the lender. I don't charge myself anything.
You have to pay somebody the time to draw everything up and.
Nope, I do it in house.
Okay.
It's my house, and I'm part of the ownership of it, and so I'm allowed to draw my own documents. Now, I did have an attorney draw them at one time.
Yeah, to get your template. Okay.
Yeah, to get my template, but I can trade out the names and addresses as good as anybody.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think on? Well, it's good that you're not having. You've kind of figured out a way against the regulation, which I know is something that limits a lot of people because they're only doing it part time and they don't want to put the time and effort into figuring through all of that. So that's good. Let's talk about capitalizing from owner finance. I know you're making money off of the interest. How much interest are you charging normally on owner financing, or does it depend on credit?
No, it doesn't depend on credit. I'm charging about 10%.
Okay.
But it's irrelevant because I'm moving a person from paying $1,000 rent to being $1,000 owner. And which way is better? Would you rather? How much do you get when you pay rent? What's the interest rate on rent? The interest rate on rent's infinity because you never own anything at any time. So the interest rate and the sales price of the house is really not that big of a stickler. The fact that they're going to own something at the end of their time is the point. I wonder what rents will be in 30 years from now.
Let's talk about on the buyer side, what the benefit is for a buyer. Do you find that a lot of people who rent really do want to buy, or are they concerned, or are they, people who don't necessarily want to buy? I mean, you're assuming everyone who rents would prefer to buy. There are a lot of people who rent because they want to be in a place temporarily, that kind of thing. But you're not running into that. You're not seeing that in the houses you're selling.
No, I don't think there's 100% of anything in this world. I think there's about probably 83, 84, 85% of the renters wish they could own, but for whatever reason, they don't think they can or they don't know they can. Mm-hmm. And like you said, there's about 15%, 18% of the renters out there that for whatever reason don't want to, can't, or don't deserve to, own a house.
Don't want to do the yard. Don't want to do the maintenance.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think a few of the plus sides for buyers out there who are considering doing owner financing, one is they're buying a house that's going to continue to appreciate. You're buying it at a set price, paying that fee just like you would if you were purchasing from and using a bank.
Yes. And the payment stays the same, mm-hmm. and it ends on some day.
And you've got the tax deduction. You can still take mortgage deduction. So that's a good thing.
Pride of ownership, and you can do your own improvements. I mean, it's your house.
Have you had to foreclose on a lot of the ones that you do? Because I know you've done a lot of these. Do you have very many problems with them?
It's about 3%.
So that's pretty low, but I know you have a lot of properties. So.
Yeah, well, I'll do about 100 houses a year. I've done 1,500 houses in my career in San Antonio. I used to have a higher foreclosure rate, but I got better at recognizing who can afford the house and who can't.
Imagine you and your family return from a tropical vacation to find that one of your pipes burst, flooding your entire house. Are you fully covered? Will you only receive $100 for your TV that cost you $2,000 just 2 years ago? Will your insurance company pay for you to live in a hotel while your home is being repaired? What if on that same trip you lose your wedding ring? Will your home insurance coverage replace that as well? All insurance policies are not created equal. If you don't know the answer to these questions, you're not alone. Most people don't understand the gaps in their coverage until it's too late. Call Goosehead Insurance today and let one of our agents review your current policy to ensure that you are fully covered. At Goosehead Insurance, we understand the power of choice. Instead of working for a single insurance company, our agents have access to over 20 A-rated carriers. This allows us to craft a policy to fit your particular lifestyle, budget, and needs. It also enables us to reshop your policy in the future if necessary, saving you time and money. No need to look for another agent. At Goosehead, we've got you covered. Our agents will walk you through each policy decision so that you have the coverage you need. If that's not reason enough, talk to one of our happy clients. Our client satisfaction scores are 3 times the industry average. To experience the Goosehead Insurance difference, visit us online at goosehead.com or call us at 800-474-1377.